welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that notification button, subscribe. That would be nice. And to everyone who's been with us from the beginning, thank you so much. And for those of you who are still here, yay! Okay, so on the docket today, we have The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 9, Midnight in the Chateau of Good and Evil. I really like these show titles.
Yeah, they're actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gives you an idea of what the episode's going to be about a little bit, but it's not telling you straight out what it is.
True. And like they've been like really snarky, like across the board for the 3 shows that we're seeing right now. The show titles have been a little snarky. I like them. Alrighty, so a quick high-level summary of this episode. Sheree's still talking about Tyrone to anybody who listened. Marlo's having issues with her nephews and winds up tossing them out. Sanya and Kenya get together and they're talking about what happened with Marlo. Then we see Sheree fake crying with Fatum. Now I realize who Fatum is.
Right.
I didn't catch her name the first time we saw her at Kenya's daughter's birthday party. So now I'm tying her together because did they give her name at the birthday party?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I was kind of lost. But yeah, this is this is one of Sheree's friends, and basically, I felt, my opinion, Sheree was fake crying over Tyrone, and now she feels like he's scammed her. Drew's mom is back in town and tells her about some female spirit that's out to hurt her, and Drew is upset that Ralph is writing this book about step parenting but doesn't want to adopt her oldest son. We see Marlo, Sheree, and Sanya going shopping. And again, she's talking about the problems that she's having with her nephews and how she has kicked them out. But I don't think she's kicked them out. She's just sent them over to her sister's house. If you kick them out, they'd be on the street. I don't understand. Then we find out that Sheree is hosting an event at the Chateau. It's like a nude painting, dinner, coochie cleanse event. And this was a cute event because highlights Kenya getting wasted, Fatum with the incense coochie cleanse, and the little one-on-one conversation that Candy had with Marlo. Do I think it's going to make Marlo act better? No. But I did like that all of these women, all of the mothers are trying to give advice to Marlo.
Exactly. So let's start with Marlo. I think what happened with her is this. How can I put this politely? She's been alone. She's been alone a long time. Like, you know, she's been by herself doing her own thing. Based on what I know and what I've heard from women, you don't feel like, you know, birthing a child can change you. And you know, if you go like you know, women have said, you know, I was all about myself. I never thought motherhood would change me, but once I birthed this child, it changed me. Marlo didn't go through that. You know, she was living her best life, but then she took on the responsibility of having two boys. She didn't have she didn't go through the growing up process with the child. They were just, you know, they just came to live with her. So she didn't have the chance to have that on the job mommy training. It was just thrust upon her. And when you've been alone for so long, and then your life changes, you're not going to automatically think that, oh, my feelings have to go aside for them. You know, it's not the same thing. So I think what she really thought was going to happen is they would just integrate into her life seamlessly. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. You have to put your needs aside and your wants aside and put those kids first. And she's not prepared. She just wasn't prepared to do that. And that's why
Hmm.
but and I think deep down she knows what motherhood is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to be, but she's not there, and it's not fair to expect someone to, you know,
I'll disagree with
acclimate
that.
easily.
I'll disagree with that part because just based on something that she said, she parents these boys like how she wanted to be parented when she was in the foster home. And
Mm.
that's by throwing everything at them. And they should be grateful
Oh,
because they're wearing designer. She's not she's
mm.
not parenting, she's buying.
Mm.
And just
I can see
because
that.
you wanted, fashion clothes and expensive this and that and four-star restaurants or five-star restaurants, those things, those little trigger words that she uses of, what she
Mm.
wants to give with her charity to these foster care kids. I'm not hearing anything about an education, a job training course, something about financial management.
Mm.
I'm not hearing anything that can get these kids through life. It's just materialistic
I was going to
things.
say that. I was going to say it's all material.
And what these kids need is stability and love. And yes, they're going to act out because of what just happened with their mom. And what do you go
Right.
and do? Their mom dumped them, not dumped them, but they got let down by their mom. And now you're putting them out and shuffling them over to your sister who already got 4 kids,
Right.
and you're now letting them down.
And Ryan says her and her boys were traumatized by her sister's display on the lost phone call. The boys are acting out because of that and because they're teens. They all should went to therapy. And that was going to
Mm-hmm.
be my next question to you.
Mm-hmm.
When they're talking about therapy, she's gone, and she asked the boys, do they think that they need to go? And they said no. Would you have taken them to therapy anyway?
Yeah, it wouldn't have
What?
been a question. It would have been
Okay.
like, guys, look, and I wouldn't have waited for that phone call either. From the time that I
Right.
first got them and they
See,
came
I was
from
worried
that
about that.
situation
Right.
and me not having any breaking in period on being a parent, I'd have been seeking help from then to get them integrated into my life and my life integrated into their life.
See, I agree with that. I think they should have gone. They should have gone to family therapy from the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
just due to the situation.
Oh my God, she's repeating the cycle of abandonment and not giving them unconditional love. Ryan, I love you. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say.
Exactly. But who said that? Oh, who brought that up at the dinner table? Um, why don't you break that cycle? Who was it? Because wasn't it at the dinner? So Marlo was talking, and was it this?
Lisa Wu?
Oh, was it Lisa?
Was it Lisa? Lisa was dropping some knowledge, but I think that was towards Sheree. Who was it?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, but a lot of people were talking at the same time,
Right.
so it wasn't very loud, but I did hear somebody say break the cycle. Um, oh my God. Who was that person? See how we don't recognize the people who say the smartest things? Ryan, we're
Was it
recognizing
was
you
it
by saying the
was it was it
smartest thing.
was it was it Sanya? Was it Sonia?
No, Sonia gave her the challenge. Yes, it was her because she said, I want to challenge you to do better. Didn't she
Yeah.
say that? She
To
threw
break
out a challenge to
right
Marlo.
in these next 30 days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Marlo. I really hope that, like, if it's true, hey Pearl, if it's true, she said that her sister has 4 toddlers,
Right.
and now you're throwing 2 teenage boys in there. That's not fair to your sister. I don't know. Hey Nisei. Um, but I did like that each of these moms sat her down and tried to support her and her parenting the best way that they could. Although Sheree was like, I've been a mom forever and never once did I want to give away my kids.
Well, that's
And
different because you well, like I said, it's different. I from I've been told it's different when you birth a child versus children being put on being put onto you. But I do like the fact that the ladies told her straight up like that was basically they told in a nice way that's not the move
yeah,
because
if you've taken on the responsibility of these kids, you can't dump them somewhere unless it's to camp.
right and like Candy said, and that's why I want to go next because that conversation between Marlo and Candy, I really enjoyed that conversation because Candy really told her some good advice and some good knowledge. I
Mm-hmm.
really, I mean, I was just sitting there like, what this we want to see on our TV screens because you know it's just you could see the friendship there, and I think that's what I really enjoyed the most. Like they had their own little test. Was it Marlo's fault? In my opinion, yes, but Candy just broke it down to her like, look, this is what you've chosen to take on. This is what you chose to do, and it's tough. I understand, and she was trying to help guide her through it. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, Ryan, yeah, she did, but in the back of my mind, I'm not sure if Marlo said this or not. I think Marlo took them in because one, her little sister already has 4 children. She probably could take them on at the time, and then two, she probably didn't want to. If she did not take them, I have a feeling they will wound up in the system, and she
mm-hmm.
didn't want them to go through what she went through. So yes, it was a choice for her to take her on, but like if I put myself in her position, where I want my family to be put in the system that I went through, and it was not the best system, no. So it was we could say it's a choice, and technically yes, it's a choice, but if it's to me, it's either take them in or put them or let them go into the system. To me, that's not really a choice.
Okay, so Pearl says, I'm going to be the odd one, but I don't disagree with what Marlo did. And Ryan says, I want to hear your logic, Pearl.
Here's the
I'm
thing:
curious.
the way I can see on the other side, Marlo,
Uh-huh.
she was reaching her breaking point. Um,
Mhm.
and I have a feeling she understood she was at her breaking point mentally, and she didn't want to say or do anything to damage the boys even further. That's the only logic I can come up with because the way
Mhm.
she looked like she was having a nervous breakdown, like talking about it. I'm like, damn.
I can see that.
And I understand what people saying like she made this choice to quote unquote be a parent, but think about it, like the 3 years that she's had,
Mhm.
most people get 3 years. They get them from a baby in 3 years, and they get to nurture and bond. She hasn't had that bonding time with them.
But had
So
she done therapy from the beginning, their bond probably would have been better. Communication skills and all parties would have been better. And they probably would have had the tools in order to navigate situations like what happened with the mom. You know, they could have
mhm.
been able to overcome that without the kids acting out. And even if they did, Marlo would have had the tools in which to handle it.
No, agreed. But I'm going to look at the system. I'm so sorry. I'm going to look at I'm looking at the system, and when I say this, when the boys were first placed with Marlo, why didn't the I guess child services or whoever who allowed them to be with her, why didn't they suggest that they go to therapy? Like I for me,
Mhm.
based on the situation in its totality, the mom going to jail, prison, the boys having to live with their aunt being displaced. Why wasn't that like a requirement? No, ongoing therapy.
Well, you know, um, I don't think there is as much emphasis
Right.
on
Yeah.
at risk children
Hmm.
once the umbilical cord is cut.
No, I got you. I'm just looking at it from the totality of the
Hmm.
situation, and
That
like
would have
to
been the most
be spot
logical
on.
thing to do. I agree with you.
I mean, and it just kind of shows the cracks in the system as a whole, though. Like,
Hmm.
and it's sad. Um, you know, I just look at her and I felt bad in that moment because you're looking at a woman who became a stand-in parent. I think Perosa, a stand-in parent in what,
Hmm.
her mid 40s, late 40s.
Hmm.
I mean, dude, like if you really look at it,
Hmm.
think about a bachelor male, like just
Hmm.
this changing around a man who decided to take on two kids, teenagers. Well, they weren't
Hmm.
teenagers yet, but
Hmm.
two children over 10. Like it's no different. Like you're used to your lifestyle, this and that, and I think Marlo just thought it was going to be easy. I think she just kind of thought that if, like you said, like if I just give them things, like give them better than what I had growing up, that they would automatically understand.
Hmm.
And I think she didn't think it all the way through. She was looking at it from what, like you said perfectly, what she wanted as a
Hmm.
child growing up in foster system, not as what's needed for these particular children. And I
Hmm.
agree with the 1,000% therapy was the first thing they needed. That should have been the very first thing they did, like from day one. Consistent therapy until the mother was released. That's just my opinion on that. You know,
No. Hmm.
a group family counseling session once a week until
Hmm.
the mom got out, because that way they would have had the tools to deal with something that just happened versus being thrust upon them, and they're just all, because they're all acting out. Marlo's acting out, and the boys are acting out.
Hmm.
And then I think if Marlo had talked to the girls about this
Hmm.
when she got the boys, I really think they would have told her to go get therapy. I really do.
Or don't they have parenting classes anymore? I remember back in the day they used to have parenting classes. I think it's a Y. Or that
Mm.
might have been changing diapers. I don't know. I
Yeah,
might be dating myself.
no, I know what you're talking about. Normally, it's for beginning parents.
Okay, so that wouldn't apply here. But still, uh, yeah, I don't know. Well, let's hope that the boys get what they need, that Marlo gets what she needs,
Hmm.
and it's beneficial for all parties concerned. Because these are young men who are at a very precarious age,
Right.
and they need all of the support
Hmm.
and guidance that they can get.
For
That's all I'm
sure.
saying. Because they look, they're at an age where they could go real, real, real wrong, especially with
Right.
all of the bad cards that they've been dealt.
Hmm. And
So,
the thing is, they're always talking about they're talking back to the teachers. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. And you see they still have no problem talking back to the teacher. Yep. Nope. Can't do that.
hmm, well, I wonder
I
if
mean,
her sister has like a male figure in the house, because I think like a man's hand might be
right.
good too. Because it seems like
Hmm.
these boys are surrounded by women.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes a boy child does need a older male influence. I know that sounds kind of
Hmm.
sexist, but
It's
I,
different. It's
yeah.
different because just like I'm a firm believer, and like I said, I'm very antiquated in some ways of my thinking, that
Mm,
if you have daughters, like they need a mother, they need a female's voice. And I'll equate this to my own thought. Like with my mother, like I prefer her to have a female doctor. I do, because only another woman, in my opinion, is really going to understand another woman, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the voice. It's a similar voice. It's a more relatable voice, and it's not and it's antiquated, but it holds a lot of water, because if I had daughters, I would
Mm-hmm.
probably really struggle, because I'm not going to understand. I'm
But
not
you
going to
know
kind of, I don't
what?
go through those things.
But you know what? Youths, and thank you, Ryan, for saying this. Ryan says, I heard that Candy said on Speak on It that it wasn't for a month, it was indefinitely, or at least the boys didn't know it was for 30 days. Oh dear.
Mm,
Oh dear. Um, but I do believe that both boys and girls need proper male and female role models. Like
hmm
girls need to have a father figure there so that they understand how a man should treat them.
right.
And boys, yeah, they need a strong male influence to show
hmm
them how to be a man, but they also need their mother to so that they understand how to treat a woman. Like you
hmm
respect a female partner like how you would respect your mother. You know,
hmm
it's just
And
oh,
in my mind, now that we're talking about this, like, Marvel didn't handle this
mm,
in the best way possible, but we have to remember how she grew up with the
mhm,
instability.
mhm,
Can we really expect that much more of her in such a short of time? Like that's why breaking that cycle is so important. That she's asking for help, and she's getting the help, but this is just out of from someone who just didn't know what to do. It was at her end of her rope, and it was fight or flight at this
mhm.
point, like kind of like survival.
Right,
And
right.
for her to survive, for the boys to survive, she felt like she had to shut them off for a little bit. So I understand both sides, to where, like, no, what
Mhm,
she did was wrong, but I also understand, like, she's trying to do what's best long term. And the fact that she's in therapy is fantastic, but she needs to tell the boys they're going to therapy. They can't have a choice.
mhm. Yeah. Um, what did you think about the pedicure session with Drew and her mom? The mom played that weird recording saying that,
Didn't
um,
care.
but what was that about though?
It's stupid. It
I
was
don't
it's
see. This is one of the main things that I didn't like about Drew during the first season with the prophet and all of that. Rah rah. It doesn't make any sense to me. Um, and then hold on. But Fatum brings up aliases that Drew and Ralph
mhm,
have.
right.
And who was it that says something about when you ain't got no credit? Candy?
No, no,
Who was that?
oh, someone said that's what people do when they have bad credit. And Candy said, not the bad credit. Oh, it was somebody who was sitting.
Narcissist?
Who was it? Kenya?
I don't know, but like,
It was
wait, you
someone
have
sitting next to Candy.
aliases when you have bad credit?
Yeah, you might change it for an initial, or yeah.
What? Oh my god. And then did Drew say that Ralph's alias as Danielle is her ex assistant?
No, it's her assistant.
It's her assistant.
Right, her current assistant. One of
And the
them.
and the assistant that she got fired got Ralph the book deal to write the book on how to be a step parent.
Yes.
And why doesn't he want to like why are you putting out there that he doesn't want to adopt your son? And how do you change your son's name, last name, and Ralph doesn't adopt him? Did you even ask Ralph to adopt
My
him?
whole thing is this: like, in order for Ralph to adopt him, the biological father has to release, give up their rights.
I don't think based on what we saw of the biological dad, or what did she call
Mhm.
him, Daddy One or something.
Something like that.
Um, uh, he seems like he wants to be involved
That
with the kid's
and
life.
see, and that's the thing when the whole adoption thing. I'm like, y'all are dead wrong for this because y'all just had this man on camera last year. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
they met up with him. And see, she lied. I'm so mad at that. When she said like we haven't seen his bio dad in like a long time. And I'm like, but tell me if I'm not understanding or misreading this or not
Uh-huh.
remembering. He was on camera last year, right?
Yeah, yeah. They
She
waited for him at the restaurant with the
he
kid.
showed up. He showed up,
Yeah,
right?
he showed up.
But this episode, she said that they hadn't seen him in a long time. I'm just like, you don't. I'm like, this is another strike against you. You quit lying. Because she had me questioning my own memory. I'm like, no, but y'all met with him because you that was important. Because I remember like, well, would you? Because they asked him, would you like to see your dad in the future? And the little boy said, maybe or something like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I know I remember him like being on camera, but when she
Yeah.
said that we had not seen him in a long time, I'm like, you just, oh,
Drew
that
doesn't
made me
remember
so
her
mad.
life. She just doesn't. And Pearl says, but Fatum, the running background checks on people, that's messy. And we need somebody like her on this show.
I was
I
just in the,
love it.
but for I mean, here's excuse me, but here's my whole thing. If y'all been when did y'all change his last name? Because for y'all to go and change his last name is a big deal. Why
Mm-hmm.
would you do that without the adoption? And like I said, from what my understanding is, the biological father, if still living, has to relinquish their rights in order
Mm-hmm.
for the little boy to be adopted. So how do you do that? I did not like that at all. I thought it was very, very disrespectful to the biological father. I'm like, have y'all even discussed this with the biological father? How does he feel?
I don't
And
know.
the fact that you said on camera, the fact that you thought it was okay to say on camera that we're not sure Ralph wants to adopt him and questioning why it hasn't happened, that's just so damaging to Ralph and the child, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was so disrespectful and so damaging. I'm like, y'all realize this is on camera, right? You realize this is going it's gonna be forever, right?
It's
Because
sad. It's sad. It really is sad. When I saw that part, right, I was like, thank God school is out. Maybe the kid's not going to remember this come next term.
right,
Oof. Um, let's see. Fatum is Sheree's bone collector. My God, yes.
yeah,
Oh, with enough money to get background checks.
right.
um, what did you think about Sheree's party? She had
It
nude
was
models
fun.
there, the painting, the dinner. What she had? Snapper, lobster tails, um, something else. It was really nice how she had it decorated, and it was all down in her basement. Um, she spent 40 grand on her living room, $10,000 chandelier.
Hmm.
Okay, Chateau Thelma is hooked up. I mean, the
Right,
room that Marlo and Candy were in was the massage room.
right.
Wow. I was watching this for 20 seconds and was bored. Oh my God. Hello, Ava. Wasn't Ralph treating her son a little different the other kids last season? She did bring that up. Thank you, Ryan. She did. She
Right.
said she felt like he treated her oldest boy different. Um, oh, yes, he did say that the boy was too sensitive. Oof. Damn. Chateau Charest is the bomb, much better than Bluestone Manor. I don't know. I kind of like Bluestone Manor. It fits in with where it is geographically. Um, why is Sheree not in jail? Ooh, why would she be in jail? When do real estate agents do random background checks? When they probably got side hustles, or it might be needed in Atlanta.
Right.
It might be needed. I don't know. I don't know. Towards the end of the episode, they do bring up the aliases. Drew gives some lame excuse. They do the incense cleansing ritual. Kenya is all over the place in towards the end of this episode. Five five drinks in, I think they lost count. At one point, she falls down drunk on the floor as an example of falling down drunk on the floor. At one point, she says the moment is gone and now the moment is back. She goes straight up into the camera. She's a mess on this episode.
Right.
But it was in a good way. Like it was harmless. She
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
she wasn't lashing out at anybody, thank God. Um, they're doing the cleansing. Drew Marlo makes a comment about I don't know what man gonna want somebody with coochie that smells like dollar store incense or something.
Something
And
like that.
then Drew says this is witchcraft or something. Black magic. This black magic. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
Okay, so Pearl thinks that drunk Kenya is the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And Fatum is a close second.
Or we could tie them for different reasons, though. Comic relief
Right.
and information needed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, y'all. I'm just not. I'm a little under the weather today, guys. So my
Oh, yeah. Jamal has a bit of a sore throat. Well, a lot of a sore throat. So we're not going to drop the link today. Actually, is there anything else in the episode that we need to go over, Jamal?
no, those are the highlights,
All
in
right.
my
So what?
opinion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing else. Drew, and you can just see like how Sonya fits in with everyone else, and Drew doesn't.
Wait, what did you think about Lisa Wu laying down some knowledge for Sonya?
I loved it. And she told Sonya, hold up. I'm not done. Like, you gonna sit there and be quiet while I finish my thought."
Oof, oof, oof. It was nice to see her, though. It was
It was.
very nice to see her. She needs to take it easy on those fillers. But it was nice to see her back. Like, I'm
It was
feeling
fun.
this season. I'm feeling this season. Just wanted to ask, why is Marlo on the show? I really hate her this season. She's not showing up well.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's
Mhm.
really Marlo. It's really really bad. Simply because she's trying to show out and it's not necessary. And Kenya made a good. I think it was this episode. Kenya made a good point. Like, if you're trying to build a friendship with me, why do you always go below the belt?
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
But I think did Candy? No, it was Kenya who told Marlo learn how to read. And I
Hmm.
think she does need to learn how to like the eloquence of shade, like proper shade,
Hmm.
because this show used to master that without cutting to the white meat,
Right.
but here we are. All right, y'all. So this was The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 9, In the Chateau of Good and Evil. Join us at the top of the hour if Jamal can make it. And we're going to do The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with that troll, Kyle. Mm.
Ugh,
Mm.
poor thing.
Yeah. All right. So, Jamal, any final thoughts?
Nope. We're good to go.
We're good to go. All right, guys. See you back here in about 25 minutes. All right.
Yep.
Until next time.
Okay.
Bye.